Hey guys, this is Jay Lethal, the Black Machismo, and woo, the Nature Boy, and you're listening to the Potsy and Tino Show.
I just went through the entire intro and we weren't even on the audio.
Take two.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Potsy Bands Network proudly brings to you its Tag Team Champions of the World. We are the world champions. The Road Dogg Tino Gray, the Badass Rob Potsy Podchak, the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And
Deja vu.
yeah, you guys didn't hear that, but we actually had said all that already. Hey, so I don't know if everybody saw it or not last night, but last night was the 30th anniversary
Of the dead man.
No! Of the Gobbledygooker.
Oh, yeah.
The Eggman.
Yeah.
The Eggman.
But he didn't come out of the egg this time.
He did not. But he became...
Did he debut the same night as The Undertaker?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Can't believe you didn't know that. But
I knew it was Survivor Series, but I knew it was the same year as The Undertaker.
Same exact show. And that's why everything that you see about Mark Calloway talking about it, and we're going to talk about other stuff too, folks, but we are definitely going to talk about Mark Calloway. But yeah, that's why every time he talks about when he signed his WWE contract, he was like, "Oh, please don't let me be the Eggman.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Man."
I do remember that now.
And yeah, so anyways, Chris Barrett in the chat already. Thank you very much, Chris Barrett. It says, "Thanks, Potsy. That was the first pay-per-view I watched live since WrestleMania 24. By the way, WrestleMania 24, good pay-per-view. Not as good as WrestleMania 25, which had The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Won.
The first one.
The first WrestleMania match, because they'd obviously wrestled each other quite a few times before that.
Okay.
26 was the streak versus
the career. And then the next year was Triple H.
Yeah, end of an era.
Now, before we go further, he gave me so much shit last week about being late. Potsy. Why are we late?
Well, because I was creating new graphics.
Oh, shit. Okay, this is what happened.
Look,
we didn't leave Ruckus till 8:15.
We left at 8:06. It just took 25 minutes to get here.
And I was there. I got to Ruckus at 7:45, and it was 8 o'clock. I'm like, dude, we need to go. Oh, I'm going to finish my drink.
No, it wasn't even I'm going to finish my drink. I was finishing my drink, and I was like, where's my tab?
Yeah.
I wasn't I?
But it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't him this time. It wasn't Tino. I wasn't even going to blame you.
Yes, you were.
I like the... No, I was not.
Okay.
I was not going to blame you. I like the shirt, by the way. And I'm wearing a Borderlands shirt tonight. Going back to the old school video game stuff. So, Chris Barrett's in the chat. If you're in the chat, everyone else, we're going to go ahead and say it like we always do.
Don't be shy.
Say hi.
Yeah. What did Barrett say?
Chris Barrett says, I wish they had the Fink reintroduce the Gobbledygooker, but they blew all their money on something else.
Wasn't Fink dead?
That's why he said they blew all their money on something else.
Ah, gotcha.
Because obviously he's talking about his feelings about the 3D animated Paul Bearer, which I bet, if I had to guess, was actually Mark Calloway's idea.
You think?
Oh, I the way he even did the whole cup in hand, up to him, and here's why. If you watched the Percy Pringle / Mortician documentary that WWE Network did, you'll know that the reason why they even went as far as they did the year that he passed away and CM Punk was sitting there like running around with the urn and throwing the ashes and everything else was because they said Percy would have loved it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
at first
Bill
everybody was
Moody,
thinking,
Bill Moody, the man, would have loved it.
and they said at first they didn't want to do it because they thought it'd be disrespectful. But even Undertaker said after thinking about it, he said Paul Bearer would have loved that. Him after death still being in a WrestleMania angle.
Now we'll obviously talk about other stuff too, but let's go ahead and just, you know, since Chris Barrett already brought it up, let's go ahead and talk about 30 years of The Undertaker.
30 years.
Now, you started watching the Undertaker Steve Austin
I hadn't finished
podcast thing,
through.
and in it, Austin keeps sitting there saying, "You trying to kayfabe me, son? You trying to kayfabe me?" And the Undertaker's like, "Well, what are you talking about?" And the first one is they show Undertaker wine, right? Because they're drinking shots of Jack, and they got a little bit zooted, a little bit toasty. They did, didn't they?
From what I saw, the halfway point.
So they look like they got a little bit toasted. But then there's another moment where he sits there and he says, "You trying to kayfabe me, son?" And the Undertaker's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I was 5-2 at WrestleMania. You were 25-2 at WrestleMania. You trying to kayfabe me?" He won 5 times as many matches at WrestleMania as the most popular pro wrestler of all time.
Because Austin went down the list of like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and then
because Triple H was like 10-13. Shawn Michaels was like
9-2 or so. It was something.
No, it was like 10-7.
I think he lost
something.
more than he won.
No. Triple H definitely lost more than he won. Triple H was 10-13, and I remember that one because it's like he got 23 matches at WrestleMania, but Undertaker had 27 WrestleMania matches.
Only lost 2, and he said they didn't even start counting the streak until the 10, till he beat Ric Flair, and he said that's the first time it was ever mentioned or he acknowledged it when he got out of the ring, when he did the whole thing with the fingers counting off how many WrestleManias he's won. Then they're like, hey, we're on to something.
So Chris Barrett brings up a good point, and I'll go ahead and mention it. He says what really bothered him most is that they didn't bring out Brother Love or $1 Million Man. Now, granted, in these COVID times, getting everybody into town and everything else, like I was a little surprised that Steve Austin wasn't there.
I'm sure Pritchard was backstage though.
Pritchard was backstage, but when you watch the whole thing about the Undertaker and either the Mortician, the documentary, or you watch the Austin interview, he says that Bruce, when they brought him out originally and he was with Brother Love, the reason why they didn't keep him with him was because Bruce was behind the scenes all the time.
Yep.
And he was too much. And let's be real, Bruce Pritchard doesn't want to put that red makeup on. Like towards the end of him being Brother Love, you saw it all over the white shirt and everything, or the white tie and the red shirt. And he didn't like doing that. He didn't like doing it. And there was only one guy that came out in character last night.
Godfather.
No. Kane.
That's true. Godfather came out as Godfather, kind of.
But that's not a character.
Okay.
Okay, that really is Charles. What's his last name?
Wright.
Yeah, Charles Wright really is that dude now. He wears the hat. He brings the
They
cane.
didn't bring out like a Mark Henry or The Rock even. Well, maybe not The Rock so much, but Mark Henry.
Why?
Because he had a good run with the Undertaker.
Yeah, but a lot of guys had good runs with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Heck, you could
the Godwins. Midian, I get.
Hold on.
But Henry,
they were his buddies. They were part of the Bone Street crew.
And that's why they brought out Savio.
Well, and interestingly enough, they brought out 2 mayors. Because Savio's the mayor of Puerto Rico.
Did not know that.
Yeah, there you go. There's some dropping knowledge for you.
All right.
Dropping knowledge. But I didn't have a problem with the Paul Bearer thing.
At first, when it came up, I'm like, that's cheesy. But then it clicked. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And it did. It even made me tear up a little bit to see that. Because the Undertaker, I think part of it too, we were talking off air when we were, sitting at Ruckus. It's like, I was surprised that he didn't have a longer promo. But you can also tell when he was trying, he was getting choked up. So I think that might be too why he was like, he said he hit the bullet points, what he had to say, and then he left it.
Well, there really was only one bullet point that The Undertaker needed to say.
And he said it.
Which was, quite honestly, he just needed to say,
Rest
it's
in peace.
time for The Undertaker to rest in peace. And I was hoping, because WWE, I was hoping this was going to be, let's start an angle, right? Like let's get to Mania, but let's start it here. And I was hoping that all of a sudden you'd get that screech sound, you get the red lights, and you get the Fiend to show up.
I knew they were going to do that.
Because last week we talked about it. We talked about, like, wouldn't it be cool? And sorry, folks, I got to keep moving the camera just to make sure that we're in focus and I'm not being covered up by Mark Calloway over here. But you know, it was also like, it was great. But here's where I had a problem with it. And it wasn't a big problem. But why in the hell did they have 19 guys show up in the ring and not a single one of them
said anything
or talked to The Undertaker? Like why in the hell are we sitting here watching these guys? Sorry, folks. We got my baby mama in the chat, and she's checking out the brown shirt.
No, she's not. She's checking out the brown sugar.
I guess that works too.
Not you.
The brown sugar and the brown shirt. So anyway, that was what I had a problem with it.
Oh damn, man.
What did you like? Oh, are you trying to? So we're going live with Nicole.
I'm checking out all the sugar. White sugar and my brown sugar.
Oh,
you like the brown sugar better though.
I do.
See.
It's like a regular potato and a sweet potato over here though.
What?
I'm the red hair, the sweet potato. You're the brown. Like,
shut up.
Look like you look like Mr. Potato Head.
Can I slap him, Nicole?
No. She doesn't even know what to say. Here she is live for 2 weeks in a row.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you didn't ask.
I couldn't hear you for a minute.
So I've said, can I slap him?
Oh, no, not until he gives me my money.
Oh, damn. Can I slap him till he gives you money? I'm going to beat him when
No.
he gives you money.
No, because then you know you don't get no money. All right, this is really slowing down the episode.
Yeah.
Nicole, I loved your Oxford comma moment today on Facebook. By the way,
I had to give you a shout out.
I loved it. I thought it was great, and I don't know if you saw my reply.
I did. I have an alert for when one of my baby daddies comments on one of my things.
Wait, one of your baby daddies?
I mean, yeah.
I guess there's two.
I guess there is two.
Tino.
You should see, if you're not watching right now, you should have seen the look on his face when he just turned sideways. He's like,
Where is she going with it?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we love you.
We love you.
Love you. I just had to come on and give you guys a little heckle, but enjoy talking about your man wrestling.
Okay, we will. We love you.
You mean our man soap opera?
Or that, yes.
I mean, because women's soap operas could be women wrestling, I guess. I don't know. Probably not.
Well,
yeah. They got those cat fights and stuff on those shows.
Shut up. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Love you.
She don't love you. Haha, she hung up. But what? Would you be it come out? Oh.
All right, so it wasn't The Godfather because he didn't have his hose. All that separates The Godfather from Charles Wright are the hose. I agree with that.
Yeah, and
I agree with that.
At first, when he stopped, I thought he was going to bring some hose down. And I've been okay with that.
What would have been great was after he cut the promo, he got into a coffin and the guests carry him.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would have wanted that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, calling him the dead man and everything, like I'm okay with it. Now, here's another thought that I had about it, and this isn't about The Undertaker, but it's about Vince McMahon. You know, Vince McMahon, when Stone Cold did the Stone Cold podcast on the WWE Network,
right,
was the first guest.
Well, obviously.
but was the first guest. And one of the things that they talked about was whose decision was it to have Brock go over at WrestleMania against The Undertaker. For those that might be watching that don't know about wrestling, going over means that you're going to win the match. And in that, I almost want another Vince McMahon episode of the Broken Skull sessions, because we've now had 2 with Mark Calloway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's even talked about how it was the boss's decision, and if the boss sits there and calls him up, he laces up the boots again, all that stuff. So wouldn't it be great to have Vince McMahon actually sit down with Steve Austin at this point and sit there and have Austin straight up ask him a question like, "So you're gonna have the Undertaker WrestleMania or what, son?"
And he'll probably and
he'll be like, well, Steve, because for whatever reason he does this weird mouth thing now, like he's got a lozenge in or something.
Probably does. No, he sounds
and he's got these. Man, I thought I had bags under my eyes, but Vince looked like he'd been punched in the face last night.
Well, he doesn't sleep, so.
Well, he does not sleep, but it didn't ever look like that.
Well, he's getting older. The dude's what, 70?
74?
Yeah, so it's catching up to him.
But that's another reason why I want to see Vince McMahon be the guest on a podcast like that, because I really want to know what Vince McMahon is thinking, and I know that if you have Steve Austin asking the questions, he's gonna be like, I gotta ask you the hard ones, Vince.
Yeah, but
why the hell is Monday Night Raw so goddamn garbage?
I don't think that the Undertaker. I think the Undertaker even knows. I mean, he's not gonna. His best matches are behind him, and and we talked about this earlier too. That last match was the last match he had with AJ. Was good. I mean, you don't want to. He don't want to go out on a shitty match.
So you said
let him go out on a high.
You said you've only watched the first half of the podcast, and that Stone Cold or Broken Skull session, one more round that they did with The Undertaker this time, he talked about that in the second hour, and they talk about that for an extended period of time. And Calloway basically says, I don't want to be a parody of what I was.
Exactly.
And let's be real, he doesn't want to be a parody of what he was. And now, I love how the first thing he mentions in the whole Broken Skull sessions. And folks, we'll get to things like the whole what's going on with us stuff here shortly. But Chris Barrett brought it up, so we might as well just get into it. The first thing that he talks about is how he doesn't have it anymore, and how when AJ actually asked him to do it, he was like, man, it's the one guy I want to work with.
But he also said that when he wrestled Ric Flair and Ric Flair thanked him, he didn't understand what Ric Flair meant
until he wrestled that
Brock match.
Yeah, exactly.
He said because Ric Flair was doubting himself, and he's like, "What? You're Ric Flair?" But he said when he got that concussion, he said that scared him. He didn't know if he could do it as well as.
So for Chris Barrett here, I'm going to go ahead and say that Vince is old and doesn't sleep. He needs a nap, and he needs to do that mouth thing to produce some saliva. You're probably right. So we got Joe McClain, the guy who is so salty. Salty!
He's not listening. Did you see what he said?
He said, I'll just wait till tomorrow to listen to you guys disrespect me. So salty. Even salty tonight.
When did we disrespect Sketchy?
We didn't disrespect Sketchy. Sketchy disrespected wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the whole Malcolm X. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. Like it's wrestling didn't get salty. Salty got wrestling with Sketchy Joe. That's what it is.
Shut up.
Come on, I thought that was fun. No?
Nobody else did, man.
Nobody else understands it.
You killed the chat.
Well, let's go ahead and just say, Tino, what's up with you?
I gotta think. So a whole lot. I mean, it's getting ready for Thanksgiving. It's the big thing, You gotta get the house clean. I went out and got the turkey. Now, Nicole was like, she texted me. She's like, it's like last week. It's like Friday or Thursday or Friday. She's like, Food Lion has turkeys for 29 cents a pound. I'm like, all right, cool. I went to Food Lion. Duh. Yeah, it's 29 cents a pound, but you got to buy like
A
$30.
40-pound.
Then you got to buy like $30 worth of groceries to get that 29. So I mean, it was cool. I got everything for Thanksgiving, and then the turkey was only 29. I got like a 22-pound turkey for like $5 and some change. So I can't complain.
You got a 30-pound turkey?
No, 22-pound turkey.
That's a jive-ass turkey.
I like turkey. I want to make sure that I have turkey left over for turkey sandwiches, turkey salad, turkey.
Do you think if you go to like Jamaica to get a turkey for Thanksgiving, they make a jive-ass turkey?
I'll make a jerk turkey.
You know, in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say, Tino, that's Rob asking the tough question.
Shit. All right, what you got this week?
No, seriously, like would it be a jive-ass turkey if it was like?
Why? Why would it be a jive-ass turkey in Jamaica?
What, isn't that where jive like?
No.
No.
Damn.
Hey, so speaking of Jamaica, did you like when the Street Profits and everybody were talking about like and they were like, "Are you Shelton?"
He said he's not gonna beat he said he's gonna beat Kobe's accent back into him. I was like, oh no. What did he say?
Chris Barrett actually said, "No, Potsy, a 30-pound turkey is a jive-ass turkey." so okay, maybe it's not a tough-ass question this week. I don't know.
Stupid.
Well, speaking of 30-pound turkeys, how about we just go ahead and where is it? Hold on.
Lost it. You lost it.
I gotta find it.
Lost it.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
No.
So, like I said, so there's not a whole lot going on this week. It's preparing for Thanksgiving. I can't. Who books this shit?
Who books this shit? I told you I had some new graphics for tonight, so
Yep.
so we're gonna go ahead and like you see, Tino's face is sitting there like this, and I'm like, When it comes to who books this shit, here you were trying to create Survivor Series, and I had a problem with the gobbledygooker showing up.
Why?
What the? Like, unless he pulled off the mask and he was the Undertaker, I wasn't, and I didn't want to see that either. Honest to God,
that'd have been funny.
But
it's 30 years. 30. I mean, he was 30 years.
So all right. So folks, hopefully you're enjoying the new graphics. I got to put them together tonight. But you said not much is going on with you. But folks, the coloring book, Junior High Horrors, the all ages coloring book, is finally here. And Tino, I'm gonna let you. Oh! Would you look at that advertisement on the back for the Junior High Horrors Strangest Thingy special in January? But like, for example, we've got some awesome artwork from like Rob Nikolakakis over here. Look at that piece right there. Look at that.
So you didn't draw this?
So I drew this cover.
Mm-hmm.
I drew that cover. You like that?
That's nice.
Yeah, I drew that. I drew. Hold on. I'll find some other pages that I might have drawn. There's the black and white version that you get the color of that. I also drew like the last piece in here, which was the sold out #1 cover of Mikey with the squirrel. So I drew a couple pages in it. But interestingly enough, I did all of the graphic design work that went into the book. So all of the design work that made sure that everyone got thanked, all of the copyright information. There's another piece that I did, which is the Ghost Rider cover.
That is cool. That is.
So
we were sitting at a bar one night at Ruckus, and I'm like, I wish I could draw. So Rob was trying to give me an impromptu
how to draw session,
and I was like, okay, that's good.
And yeah, so tonight, anybody, our truth booked the gobbledygook. Chris Barrett said that our truth booked the gobbledygooker. I wouldn't doubt it at all. In fact, I still think it was Drew Gulak.
In the gobbledygook
in the suit. And since we're not watching Monday Night Raw right now, that might be something that comes out, considering it's Akira Tozawa, R-Truth, and Drew Gulak that are all going for that title right now. So, but anyways, so that was one of the things that's up with me. Obviously, I started a new job. I'm now in week 2.
How's that going?
It's going well. I'm finally starting to grasp like what's expected of me, although my boss is on vacation. So I'm in training though, so it's completely fine. And I really think I'm gonna like the job. Like
I knew you would.
The company itself, and I won't talk about it here because obviously when I'm working for somebody, I don't talk about who I work for. But and it's because the opinions of Rob Pochak are his own and not of the company that he works for or anything else. But they're voted like one of the top companies in the country to work for.
Wow.
So like somehow I lucked into it. And even today while I was training, my trainer is sitting there saying, "Hey, we don't hire a lot of people from outside, and you got hired in the position you are because you have something we want."
Oh.
And I was like, I hope it's not money because I came here for that. No, I'm kidding. But no. So anyways, but I'm really excited about the opportunity, about bringing stuff to the table for that. And I started trying to think of like, because the past couple weeks we've been asking Rob like, what kind of GameStop story do you have? So of course I do because it's Thanksgiving week.
Yep.
So I figured I would go ahead and I'll go ahead and tell everybody. Oh, you want to read Chris Barrett's?
Today was my first real day of work in a week because my machine finally got fixed today, so I had to catch up on about a week's worth of work.
Damn.
If you didn't hear that, Chris Barrett's machine finally got fixed, so he had to catch up on a week's worth of work, which basically means that Chris Barrett took a vacation without taking a vacation.
Yeah. It's so small, I couldn't read it. I'm like, oh.
Well, here, hold on. How about we do that for you? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So here's the disappointing thing. Chris Barrett didn't actually get to take a vacation.
Nope. What kind of a paid vacation?
No. Paid vacation means you actually get paid to not be anywhere close to the job. Which okay, so before I tell my GameStop story, I'll go ahead and tell everybody. When I put in my notice, I specifically told my boss I can't leave 2 straight weeks in. Like I can't give you and I mean this in a good way. I couldn't leave on Monday when I put in my notice 2 Tuesdays before that, right? Mm-hmm. That would have been 14 days. Couldn't give him my notice for that. And the reason why was because when I called him up on Tuesday to tell him I was putting in my notice would have ended Monday before the Xbox Series X launch, Thursday before the PlayStation 5 launch, and Friday before Call of Duty launch. And I said, I can't do that to you. So I actually said I will work the 3 launches. Come to find out, Tino. Now, I don't know how exactly this works or anything, but come to find out, I put in my notice, and, I went on vacation the first week of October, which is when my vacation time started over. So I kept keeping an eye on how many hours I was in the hole on vacation. Come to find out, I was 17 hours in the hole.
Yeah, how'd you miss that?
Well, no, it wasn't how did I miss it. I saw it the whole time. And And I was hoping every week that I worked was going to...
Torch it.
Yeah, exactly. Torch it. Or towards it. And torch it.
Okay.
Like hopefully we get down to torch to 0 and, just be a pile of dust or whatever. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and I owed back 17 hours.
Wah, wah, wah.
which means, to those paying attention, my last 2 days with GameStop were free. And they were the PlayStation 5 launch and the Call of Duty launch at a busy store. Like, and you know, I've been very political about it when I say, okay, I took the vacation, I owed it back, but after 14 years,
oh, here we go.
I gotta tell you.
Here we go.
Oh, you want me to put up a rant?
Oh,
No, it's not even a rant. But after 14 years, you would think they'd sit there and go, you know what? We'll take care of you on this one. The weirdest thing I saw was 2 days after I left GameStop. I sent a Facebook friend request to my district manager and my HR rep, right? Mm-hmm. Both of them accepted, so thank you guys. Love both of you. I really do. Like both of them a lot. They're amazing people. But I knew that I was put in the system as gone the moment they both said okay to sign a note to say that they were okay with the Facebook friend request, you know? But like as soon as they said we're friends, I knew I wasn't in the system. And then I go into their computer system to look at my paycheck. You know,
you can still do that?
Yeah, I can still look at my pay, and I can still look at my tax documents. I can't look at anything else because it says Rob Pochek terminated.
Terminated.
And I'm looking at it like, I wasn't terminated. I quit
this bitch.
I didn't quite go that far.
Okay.
But so Chris Barrett says, I would think after 14 years at GameStop that they would give you a high-paying corporate job.
I agree with that.
Not me.
No.
Not me. Because here's the thing. I'm one of those people, and I know this. You know this. I'm one of those people that as great as I am at my job, and I was great at my job, they knew, not I knew, they knew that if they put me in a position of power,
it'd be over.
Things were going to change.
It was over.
Things were going to change, and it wasn't going to be what they thought was best for business. I was going to have steel cage matches against.
I'd love to just let you do it for like a month.
It literally would have been like WWE television when Steve Austin became the CEO. Remember that?
Yes. Oh my God.
When he was like, "We're gonna drink on the job." Oh hell yeah!
He's throwing out a cans of beer like
we're throwing
poker.
out beer.
Give
poker. Me a hell yeah! Chris Barrett just said, "I've never heard of a GameStop employee lasting more than 6 months," and I will tell you, there are.
Is that high of a turnover?
Well, retail has high turnover regardless, so it's not even just GameStop. But GameStop management, it's weird. There's a lot of people, like the average probably is 2 years, because you've got people that take over a store and they go, oh hell no. And then you've got people that sit there and last for 15 years, like me, you know, like, and in that middle ground, you've got a bunch of 2 to 4 year managers who are like, I love the company. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them do. A lot of them drink that Kool-Aid. I drink Evan Williams. I prefer Crown Royal, but, you know, can't afford it yet. So, you know, I had to pay back 17 hours of payroll. But actually, I really like this Evan Williams honey. This is, you want to try it? Just take a sip. Just a little.
You got like a fucking ice testicle in the middle of this thing.
It's a giant ice ball, because that's what you drink with whiskey.
That's actually smooth. Huh?
He always gives me shit.
Crown for the win. That's from Grayson.
Hey, Grayson. Grayson actually works at my new employer, but I'm not going to say who they are.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
But
That's
hopefully she wants to go ahead and give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Yes. But she's watching on Facebook. We're on YouTube too.
She is. But you know, everyone knows that we got to get those YouTube likes up.
She
so.
said get the whiskey stones, bro.
That's what this is.
That is an ice testicle.
It is not a testicle.
That is Big Show's left nut.
Just frozen.
I love me some Jameson. I like Grayson. I'm a Jameson man too.
Hey, we all like some JD. We all like it. So you know, we've been talking about what's up with us.
Yeah.
You don't really have anything going on. You got Thanksgiving.
I got Thanksgiving. That's why, like I said, I don't have any shows.
We're doing Thanksgiving dinner, and I actually get to be here for dinner instead of doing a Thanksgiving.
That's cool.
Breakfast.
Or are people bringing you plates?
So that's okay. So Tino wanted a GameStop story. So here you go. GameStop about 3 years ago decided they were going to start opening on Thanksgiving, right? You'll get YouTube lines when you stop having bad opinions. Why didn't you just read that so I didn't have to? Because that came out of my mouth and now everybody thinks my opinions are bad. No, I'm kidding. So Sketchy Joe, who was friend of the show.
I don't know what's going on with him.
We don't know what's going on with him. He is not a fan of current WWE product. And we have admitted.
It's not good.
No.
Not all
we
good.
have admitted that Monday Night Raw is so bad that we moved our show up 2 hours, so that we could actually do the show during Monday Night Raw because we know how bad it is. However,
We watch it after the show.
well, we tried last week. I fell asleep. But,
He said now fiend of the show. Sketchy.
yes. Now Sketchy Joe is fiend of the show. He's not even friend of the show.
I love it.
Like,
That's
we're going to
awesome.
start putting up, like images of Sketchy
We gotta
Joe.
put Sketchy and we gotta get him one.
We'll just make
We gotta
it.
put a little sketchy.
Well, you got to make one for him. Man.
Oh, okay.
But okay, so we know that Raw is bad.
Yes.
Typically.
Mhm.
Now, granted, last week I thought the main event was excellent.
Yes.
And the build up to that, like from early to late was excellent. And I am going to get to that GameStop story for everybody. But at the same time, and he said he wasn't even going to watch anymore, and he's still in there. But
Because he's a fiend of the show.
because he's a fiend of the show.
I think every time he play that music, like, every time Sketchy comments, make the lights go red.
Wait, hold on. Like this?
Like that?
Like
No.
that's
That's the one I like
That's
anyway.
that's as close as we get. Yeah,
That's
that's
the
why
one I like
I
anyway.
put that one on, because that one actually gives me complexion. I actually look like the guy in the bottom corner. But so anyway, what was I saying? Sketchy Joe.
You were saying about you like
that
the
we're not fans of Monday Night Raw either.
Thank you, Grayson.
Grayson, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope Ellis is doing okay with the nail in his foot.
Ouch.
Yeah. She posted a picture the other day, not of the foot, thank goodness, because I wouldn't have been able to, but anyway, hope he's doing well. I hope both of you are. Know that you guys have been dealing with some stuff at the hospital, so hopefully you're okay there. But we haven't liked Raw.
No.
But when they announced the Drew versus Randy match, I feel like they announced that knowing how well that Drew versus Roman moment went the week before on SmackDown. And then after all of that, they really kind of went, man, we got something here, right?
Mm. I think too, and I'm still trying to figure out. I think we both are trying to figure out what Sheamus, because he's
No. Sheamus is his next opponent.
Because he came up to him and he gave him back the kilt and the sword and all that stuff. Like here,
And now he's worn it for both of his last two matches,
Yep.
which is interesting. I'm almost thinking that tonight's Raw, since we're not watching and we don't even have a TV in the room, so we can't. I almost think that tonight's Raw is going to start with Randy Orton going, if I'd faced Roman Reigns, I would have beaten Roman Reigns. Drew is no champion. We need Randy Orton as champion, kind of thing. You know, like a kind of thing we're gonna get that. Except for the fact that I think that that's when you get Sheamus's music to kick in. You think Sheamus is gonna be a babyface, and then Sheamus, turns on Drew, and then he gets either a three-way dance with Randy and Drew or whatever.
So, but does Drew keep the belt, or put it on Sheamus?
No. You keep it on Drew. I think that what they're thinking now is if they can't figure anything else out for Mania, it's going to be Drew versus Roman at Mania now because that match was awesome. Like, I don't care what Sketchy Joe says. The match last night was awesome. They both did exactly what you expected them to. You got the ref bump that you get in those kinds of matches.
And Uso, the little bit that Jay did was perfect. They didn't overdo it.
It was enough to make sure that Drew was still in the match until Roman had to cheat twice, right? And because of that, you got the babyface losing, but you got him losing and not losing face from it. Whereas you got the heel winning, and then after everything, when Jay's sitting there like, am I good? Am I good? Roman finally said, come here. Yeah. Now granted, I was almost thinking that Roman was going to sit there and throw him over.
I thought he was going to smack him.
Like I thought he was going to take him, he's going to hold him, and then he's going to throw him into the table off the ramp.
No, I was going to slap the shit out of him.
But I thought that was a possibility. It didn't actually happen. Chris Barrett says the Miz should have cashed in right after Roman won and captured the belt from Drew.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris Barrett.
Yes, I agree. Except with the Miz winning the Battle Royal before everything started in such a cheesy manner, I think that they really need to build the Miz up, rather than just have him take the moment 6 days after Drew won the title.
Joe said, "Yep, they did what you expect. Drew looked like a champ, and Roman looked like garbage."
So that's what Joe said.
Yeah.
So
he said Drew looked like a champ. He looked good, and Roman looked like garbage.
Well, Roman didn't look like garbage. Roman looked like Roman, the tribal chief, and he looked like a guy that was willing to do anything to win. In fact, it wasn't much different than the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series match that they did, where the Undertaker had to use
the low blow
to win the match. It wasn't much different than that, which meant I was okay with it because it almost had a callback to that. What do you say now?
No, that's Greg. Greg Causey's on now. He said, no, Miz has children to look after, not the belt.
It's true, and he kept saying he's the face of USA, and he does have Ms. and Mrs., which, by the way, is the only one of those types of shows that I actually enjoy watching. Yeah. Like,
it was like a couple weeks ago. I hadn't watched it in a while, but a couple weeks ago.
No, it was last week when his mother-in-law got into the dog cage, and she's like, Mike, get me out of here, and he just looked at her
and walked away,
and turned around and walked away.
Yeah. Yes, that was funny.
So okay. So
what else we got?
Hold on, I gotta find it here.
We got too many of these things now.
Here it is.
Who books this shit? Here we go.
So I started talking about this a little while. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't talk about that GameStop story.
Oh, here we go.
I said I had a GameStop story. So about 3 years ago, GameStop started opening on Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to open on Thanksgiving except for corporate.
Okay.
There was even a video posted from like the president of stores in front of this giant ass mansion. And I mean a giant ass man. Like it looked like he was standing in front of the Disney.
Either he rented it or he did that whole.
No. This was before Zoom. This was his house.
Oh my God.
And he's sitting there going, "Hey, here I am with my family, hoping you guys are enjoying your time with your family at Thanksgiving." And I'm sitting there going, "This motherfucker's clueless." Okay, and pardon the language, but I literally was sitting there going, this dude is clueless as to what we live in versus what he lives in.
Usually how that happens.
And the sad thing is that like I liked the guy, right?
Until then, till you saw where he lived.
Oh no! I told like that moment. I was like, this dude lives in like a $1.2 million house in California, or so. Well, actually, probably a $4.2 million house in California. You know, a $1.2 million house in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Weird enough.
Hashtag
The new CEO actually lives in Raleigh. Maybe he's got a $1.2 million house. But anyway, he posts this picture, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this guy's clueless. He does not understand what we're going through. And of course, that was the first year that they sat there and said, we're going to open on Thanksgiving. So I knew I had to work Thanksgiving. Grayson says, happy for you to have a legitimately restful holiday. Thank you so much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, my new job, I ain't got to work neither Thanksgiving. Got a 4-day weekend, baby.
Yeah, I know, me too. I think I'm actually going to get a big bowl of popcorn and go to the local GameStop.
That's wrong.
Is it?
That's wrong.
Is it? I'd just be...
No, it's better to sit in front of a window like this. Go to where they know you. Where
and,
they know
and
you.
Ting it with my keys. Ting, 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 ting.
Like, how's it going? Like you're busy there.
You want me to clock in? Ain't gonna happen.
Psych. I've been terminated.
Grayson says, welcome to the real world. I've already said I have a big boy job now. Big boy job. You got a big boy job.
I got a big boy job.
Yeah. In fact, both of us are doing good for the people.
Yes.
And I'm proud of that. So I think we found really good jobs for what we like to do and for how we are as people. Because I mean, we tend to do like I gave 30 copies of the coloring book to Duke Children's Hospital this weekend.
I spent 11 hours helping you move in this bitch and didn't kill you.
I think it was 13.
Yeah.
But so anyway, that year at GameStop, and it's already like 9:30.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Well, we're almost at it. We're not even at an hour yet, so we're good. But so that year at GameStop.
That's awesome.
Oh, Grayson says, let's do it, first of all. Like she wants to go sit out there with popcorn. But Chris Barrett says, you want me to clock in and pay for those 17 hours I owe you?
That's awesome. You should.
And Grayson said, you watched me grow up and I watched you grow your wings. Aw, that's true. That's true. And like I just know that Grayson's really excited about her opportunity at her new job and everything. She said, I'm just kidding. No offense. No, there's no offense there at all. Grayson actually started shopping with me when she was like 12 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And then she worked her way all the way up from part-time associate all the way to store manager at GameStop before she found the company that we both now work for. And she was I would say that her and my friend Don were very instrumental in getting me help to be looked at for that position that I've now taken. So and the company has so many different opportunities that, like, if I wanted to be someone who worked with dogs and pets and animals and stuff like that, there's a possibility of doing that.
That's cool.
With that company.
That's cool.
So I'm very happy about that. So that first year, Thanksgiving rolls around, and we had to be there at like 2:30 in the afternoon, which meant that my family had Thanksgiving dinner at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Brunch.
I had breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah.
Like I think there were even like what do they call them? Egg frittatas or whatever. Like, I think we had those on the table with turkey and everything else. But everyone else they weren't ticked or anything else, but they were like, man, I can't believe we're having Thanksgiving dinner at like 11:30 in the morning. But I got to work. And, I was always the type of person that would walk outside with the advertisement, hand it out to people, hand them a bunch of Sharpies and say, circle what you want, hand them in. That way I can go grab the stuff, have it lined up on the back counter so that way we can move this line as fast as freaking possible. Because there would be, Tino, when we would open the door last year,
Thanksgiving
when we
Day.
opened the door on Thanksgiving, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a line that went 3 ways around the store,
Why?
out the door, and then down the
Who
corner.
in the hell wants video games that
Even
bad?
better, wasn't that, it was, hey, I want this when the doors are already open, and it's like, that's gone. You know, like what made you think that you could walk in here while there's a line that wraps around 3 times in the store, and you think you can get that? My favorite moment that first year was when a guy sat there and he was like, I don't know, 20th in line. And as I'm walking through and gathering up those advertisements so that we can start grabbing everything, he goes, hey man, is there any way you can open up a line for the person that just wants one item?
Really?
You know, because like, I just want one item and then I can get out of here. And I was like, hey, what do you think all these other people want?
Just one item.
And he looks at me and he's like, what do you mean? I was like, this is the line for the people that want one item. This is the line for people that just want to get wrung out. Because guess what? Otherwise, order it online. Now, granted, I didn't go that far and say that much, but I did look at him and say, what do you think this is the line for?
I would have.
And he was like, oh, that's rude. And then like 3 people right behind him are like, dude, what are you even here for?
Wow.
My favorite thing about my guests, and Grayson could probably agree to this and adhere to it, is that my guests would sit there and go, why are you being such an asshole? To the person in line. Not to me. To the person in line.
That's
because
cool.
because they knew,
That's cool.
hey, this guy doesn't want to be here.
Yep.
But the best thing that happened while I was walking back up to the front was a buddy of mine who is a shopper at my store, walked up and he goes, hey Rob, did you have Thanksgiving dinner? I was like, well, I had Thanksgiving breakfast. And he goes, well, hey, I wanted you to have this. And he hands me a Tupperware that's got like 4 compartments in it. And it had turkey, it had
That's
stuffing,
cool.
it had all the, and it had like a little bit of everything. And then he looked at everybody else and he said, because this guy has to work on Thanksgiving for you. And I was like, hey, do you want to get in line like right here at the front? And he goes, oh, I'm not shopping today. I just came out here to give you dinner.
Here, you want the line for a person who just wants to buy one thing?
Yeah, you can step right in front of this guy right here. But
That's cool.
He literally looked at the entire line of people and said that. And then as soon as he gave me the meal and I walked off and I opened it up and I started grabbing a piece of turkey and I was like, it's good turkey. Hey, thanks for that, man. You know, I walked back into the store and I was like, man, I hope that taught them something.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't ever want to be the person that like has to shop that day. You know, like I don't want to be that person.
I'm not that person. I'm not getting that.
Grayson just said, dang, last Thanksgiving I was there. I had a man throw a Frappuccino at me because I didn't smile at him.
What?
And then she said, LMAO.
No, I wouldn't have been doing an LMAO. That'd have been like kicking your ass off.
But that's just it. Is like, you know, I had no toleration for it. Anytime somebody started acting up in that line, I literally would look at them. And this goes back to my Best Buy days, even when it was just Black Friday days. VZ Silly AF. I believe this is our boy Shavar.
Oh no!
In the room with us. And I just gotta say, if it
welcome,
is,
dude. Long time no see, bruh.
But
Casey said, she said, I fed Corey Thanksgiving dinner for 2 years in a row now because he hadn't been able to have Thanksgiving dinner with family for like 10 years, and before that he was in the military.
And Corey he's the guy that took over the store that I just ran, and he is former Marine. So now, granted, once a Marine, always a Marine. Don't get me wrong, but he is no longer in the military, and he's still working on Thanksgiving. Although this year they are off. They go in on Friday.
So they are closed on Thanksgiving?
They are closed on Thanksgiving. They made the right decision. Thank you for that. Let's go ahead. Don't do it next year. Just, you know.
Anne Marie said hi. Hi.
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
So all things considered, and we got 6 people in the chat right now at minimum. I don't know how many are in Facebook, but we've got that. But so I, ever since I worked at Best Buy, and we had this line wrapped around the section that I was in to get up to the registers, when one person sat there and started getting uppity about something, I was like, hey, do me a favor, come here. And as soon as they came up to me, I was like, okay, now go to the back of the line. And they were like, what do you mean? I was right there. I was like, well, yeah, but you started talking shit, so you got to go to the back of the line. Like, I don't care. I'm not that person that you can sit there and run your mouth to or anything else. And like Grayson says, Corey is incredible and she loves him. His staff at his new store seems to love him. And of course, yes, hashtag not your problem. Not my problem 2020. Also not my problem 2021. Hashtag. But hashtag. Hash brown.
Hashtag.
If you've watched Cobra Kai, hash brown.
Oh God.
But yeah, so that's how I feel about it. You know, I worked in retail for 20 years, man.
Amazing.
20 years. Before that, I worked in restaurants. I worked in Jersey Mike's, fast food restaurant. You know, and so I feel for the people that work in those fields.
Yes.
You know, that's why like my mom has been at the Angus Barn in Raleigh, North Carolina for over 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And due to that, it doesn't matter how bad my service is, you're always going to get a minimum of 20%. Now, I may never go back. I may complain about my service, but the server is going to be taken care of, because most times it isn't the server that caused the issue. Go ahead.
So we were in
tonight.
No, we were in college.
Oh, okay.
We were in college. We were assholes. We were going to a restaurant about 10 deep, 10, 15 deep, and we put all our money in the center of the table. So the server saw.
Oh, it was one of these things. Oh, I hate that.
Saw it. If you gave me good service, you got a jackpot. But yep. Now, how many times do you think we got good service?
I don't know. Did they know what it was?
Yeah, we told them.
Oh, well then.
This is yours. And we told them the rules. This is yours. Every time you don't, because you don't come by, because we were in a college town too, so there's college kids working there.
I did something like that at a strip club once.
You put all the money down and said, when you don't give me a lap dance, I'll take money out.
No, I sat there and said, every lap dance I get, it better get better.
Damn.
And it did.
Keep going. What's the next slide?
Well, you want to actually talk about wrestling? I mean, we got people in here not talking about wrestling. It's
well, at 10:30.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to stop so we can go, because
I'm back getting home again at 1, 2 in the morning.
I mean, at least it'll be fun. There's no such thing as bad service at the strip club. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. There's also bad service even when you do what Tino said. And like one time, I actually was at a place called the Fox and Hound at North Hills. Now this was probably 10 years ago, but girl came up, asked me if I wanted a drink, and I said, I'm gonna look at the menu first. I appreciate you asking. Just come by in a minute, and I'm sure I'll have an order ready. Now, granted, I was probably gonna get the same thing I always got, whatever. But then she never came back. And the next time I saw her, she was in the parking lot walking away, going to get in her car. So I walked up to the bar, and I mentioned it to the bartender, and the bartender's like, what do you mean she left? I was like, well, she asked me if I wanted one drink, and then never came back, and now she's in the parking lot. And he's like, okay. And I got a call from the district manager the next day. And I was like, I don't even want to get the person in trouble. I just want a drink.
Oh my God.
But anyways, Chris Barrett just said there's no such thing as bad. Chris Barrett was the one that said there's no such bad thing as a strip club. You don't know the strip clubs I go to. Then is what he also said. VZ sat there and said, just finished the Broken Skull last round with Taker. It was pretty damn good. And Shavar, I've got to tell you, I believe that those two guys were zooted at the end of it.
Sure
Like they were definitely a little bit drunk.
Chris Barrett.
And Chris Barrett's saying that she had to. This is like if Drew were in the chat with us right now, kind of throwing us off a little bit. Chris Barrett just said she had to get her kids at the, So yeah, okay. Taker does, now that Taker has lifted the veil and kind of,
yeah.
well, he's kind of the Wizard of Oz. When Dorothy walks in and sees this little man holding all the things and everything else, like now he is that guy, and he's like, screw it. You want to ask about that?
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you about that. Like, I mean, he's already talked about the airplane ride of doom. He's already talked about how, like, he had Flair sitting there on the, when Flair wanted to drink with him, that he put him in a coffin pose on the plane. He's talked about, I mean, he the only one he really hasn't talked about is when they went to Saudi Arabia and they weren't allowed back.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're allowed to talk about that one yet. So, Shavar, I believe it was 6 by the end of it, and it was only 2 hours. Like those guys had a little bit going on. Taker is one of us. I'm still waiting for some Taker Piper stories. Every story from Taker is well worth it. I would love to hear the stories of when he was actually Big Red, because they kind of touch upon it when he's like, my very first match. Percy Pringle comes out and he's like, I'm going to be your manager, kid.
I want to talk about when he was me, Mark Callis, in that Heart Punch. Or he was the Twin Towers with Dan Spidey. Some of those stories.
So, but 30 years of The Undertaker, we will never see another one like him.
No.
25-2 at WrestleMania. That dude, I mean, like, you just want to. One of these, right? Just one of these for him?
Oh, I got it.
I'm not going to play the music or anything.
Yeah.
But might play some Teddy Long later. Just holla at you, player.
Can you go to the next slide?
You're going to face The Undertaker, player. Go to the next slide.
Go to the next fucking slide.
Wow.
Well, you said motherfucker earlier, so I figured we were doing that.
Well, I did because I just figured I'd sit there and say, why is that guy in a $4 million house and I'm sitting here like renting a room? But okay, so Tino, I did some new slides.
Which one we hitting first? Oh, AEW.
So I gotta tell you, I didn't get to watch it this week. I do know. And I will say that John Moxley, congratulations to him, and Renee Paquette. Paquette?
I don't know.
Paquette. I'm going to say it's...
Renee Young.
I'm going to say that Renee. How about that? Just Renee. Congratulations. You guys get to have your first kid.
Little Dean Ambrose.
That kid is going to roll around in some broken glass.
Dude, my favorite, I want in the living room, I just want him to play his own...
No, it's not even his music anymore.
Out. I know, but that's still be funny as hell.
No, that kid's gonna knock over every other baby stable that's in there. Just he's gonna be like, "What you got?" Like it could even be a little girl, and she's still gonna sit there and say the same thing. Congratulations to them. I'm really proud that COVID allowed them the time.
I thought we couldn't say that. Carino.
Oh right. Sorry. Corvus has given us the time.
You're gonna get us kicked out.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. People are enjoying the show tonight, so that's.
And
all
another thing that
Renee Moxley. That's what Chris Barrett said.
Pretty much now. There's a couple of big things. I think the biggest thing was at the end. No, one of the things was the end of the show. Taz's little group finally got to do the join 'em.
Oh yeah, they got Will Hobbs.
Yeah, you thought he was coming in to help. And he's turning and blasting him with that chair. I was like,
quick question I ask is, what does that do to enhance the story? Like, for weeks he's been running them out. And now he just joins?
Swerve.
That's like Monday Night Raw booking.
That's how they did Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, but that's Monday Night Raw booking. Like, okay. But I didn't get to watch, like, my DVR actually just ran out of weeks of time, so now it's hooked up to the internet again, so it's going to do what it needs to.
I really can't remember anything. I've watched so much, and I'm tired. I can't remember everything. I mean, it was a good show. I remember it being a good show.
Now, I will tell you, and maybe we really are homers for NXT.
Yes, I'll freely admit it. That's the best product. SmackDown is slowly starting to come around.
Well, I think SmackDown probably is the best product on like, but NXT is consistently the best wrestling product. Not always the best storylines, but the best wrestling product. Without a doubt, I totally agree.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I popped at the end. We'll go through the show, but I popped at the end, and you know why I popped at the end.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
Sure. But
and I told you that was how it was going to play out.
I mean, you had Cameron Grimes again sitting there going up against Dexter Loomis in a blindfolded match. Yeah.
He's like, put it on. And he's like, the ref's like, you put yours on too.
He's like, but I can't see if I got it on. I can't. Why would I put it on? I can't see. Oh. He needs to put it on because I can't look at them eyes.
I am enjoying, and I told you from the beginning, I like Cameron Grimes, but I am enjoying him more and more every week.
He has so much, like I'll say this right now. If he ever gets to the main roster, he's never going to amount to world champion.
No.
But he'll be enjoyable.
He'll be
in fact, you know what'll happen? He'll be the guy going against Ron the Truth Killings for the 24/7 championship.
I think he might even have mid card. I think he might get a US or NFL.
Ron Killings is mid card, man.
But you know what I mean.
I'll do this.
I think he'll be upper mid card because he's got that. Because nobody thought the Miz was going to amount to anything. Look what he did. I mean,
yeah, but that was a shock moment that ended up paying off, right?
Yeah, but
now we're worried that they're going to blow it on this Money in the Bank. That's why they've already passed it off to the Miz, and now it's like, is Miz really worth it?
Yeah.
But
I enjoy the Dexter Loomis. I enjoy the Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that the Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai match was phenomenal. Like this is after the Dakota Kai and Mercedes Martinez match against whoever they faced. And you know, like, this is also, like, the show started with Leon Ruff versus Johnny Gargano again, and I loved how Leon Ruff sat there and was like, I'm tired of being a joke to these guys.
You know, my favorite part of that match, so you got to tell that match.
Sorry, bro.
I was like, what the hell?
Well, you knew it was gonna happen.
He just knocked.
Damian Priest knocked the hell out of Leon Ruff, and I was okay with it because it extended the story, but it also was like, there's the way this match is going. There's no way Leon Ruff's gonna win this match.
No.
And now you're going to have Leon Ruff versus Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. And Leon Ruff's still going to walk out with the championship.
You think so?
I do. Because the other two are going to knock the shit out of each other. And he's going to pick up the win at the very last second. And it may turn him heel. I don't even know. But I think it's actually gonna blow him up as a babyface.
So Joe asked, he said, when my wife watched the NXT women's title match, she asked me, is this what wrestling is supposed to be like? So I don't know if he's saying it was a good match. I'm not quite sure. Are you saying it was like in a good way, Joe, or a bad way?
Well, Chris Barrett also asked, blindfold match. What's next? Coal Miner's glove on a pole match.
Judy Badwell on a pole. Viagra on a pole.
Hold on. Monday Night Raw already did a guitar on a pole match that didn't even end when the one guy hit the other one with the guitar. So
Joe says she loved it. Exactly.
So, Joe, the answer to your question is absolutely.
Yes.
That is what a woman's match is supposed to be. And that match also looked like it was everything imaginable to sit there and say Rhea Ripley is saying Io Shirai deserves to be the champion and she'll show up on Monday Night Raw tonight.
I don't think she's... They were saying too, I was reading somewhere, they don't think... Because Charlotte's coming back to Raw, they think if they put Rhea on SmackDown, she'll have a better chance if they put her on Raw and bring Charlotte Flair back, they're going to bury Rhea. Rhea has a better. I think a better. I agree. I think she has a better.
I
shot
don't
on
think
SmackDown.
so. I think if they bring back Charlotte as a babyface, they'll bring back Charlotte and Rhea Ripley to take down Nia Jax and
Oh, that's a tag team. You
and
think?
Shayna Baszler. I think that's how they establish Rhea on Raw.
And I'd be cool. I'd be cool with that.
And then of course you have that Twin Towers moment where the two of them end up going against each other at some point because it's like I think I can beat you.
But I would think though they would have to give Rhea her win back since Charlotte beat her. At
But I'd
WrestleMania.
be okay with her
Yeah.
getting the win back at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
all,
They have to build it up.
But I think that's what they're leading to. I think that they're gonna go. Charlotte's gonna come back and she's gonna be like I've done everything except been tag team champion, and then like Nia and Shayna are gonna come out, and obviously it's almost 10 o'clock tonight, so we don't know if this is what's going on or not because again we don't have a TV, we don't have anything going on. But I totally think that's gonna be where they're going to sit there and maybe even let Shayna sit there and do the talking because so far Nia's been the one that's like running that show, and have Shayna sit there and go, how are you going to win the tag team champions? You're one person and the two of us can destroy you. And then she'll say, but hold on. Chris Barrett, don't ever say that again. Chris Barrett just said, no, I think Lana and Charlotte would team up to take down Nia and Shayna. Last night, I was so disgusted.
Don't know. I didn't.
I was so disgusted.
She never got in the damn match.
But we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet. You said you wanted to talk about the end of NXT on Wednesday night, where Finn Balor came out, and then of course had Pat McAfee and his troupe for the brand show up, which are they just called the brand now?
I thought they were calling themselves the Kings of NXT.
Oh, whatever it is. I mean, like they got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like
the shirt said the brand, but he was.
His said for the brand.
Yeah.
But his stuff has always said for the brand.
Yeah, I think that's his
So,
brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although Vince Russo also has something called the brand. So it's like,
Yeah.
who's really in charge of the brand?
Yeah.
But what they need to do, so Finn Balor comes out, and Finn Balor sits there and says, that's really funny that you think that when the cat's away, the mice can play, but the cat's back,
Yeah.
and look what I dragged in, which I thought was a pretty cheesy line. But then when all of a sudden it said shock the system and the lights went out and everything, and all of a sudden you just saw Pat McAfee look like the chicken shit heel that he really is. Like, I loved it. Except then they went to a battle between everybody, Tino. And during that battle, like, Roderick Strong was getting tossed into walls and stuff, and Kyle O'Reilly was getting beaten up, but Bobby Fish, and who Pat McAfee couldn't even remember his name, and Adam Cole were both whipping ass, and Finn Balor just disappeared.
Yes.
So, like, what was I seeing there? Now, granted, we're 2 weeks away from War Games, which is going to be Pat McAfee's group, including Pat McAfee and the Undisputed Era, going up against each other in War Games, which I'm cool with, because every time you get to see Pat McAfee get his ass kicked,
that's awesome. It's
a good thing, especially since the dude actually shows up to play. Chris Barrett also said, think about it. Lana has been Nia's abuse week after week. What else is better for Lana to get back than to team with Charlotte and take tag titles? I have a feeling she's going to be the manager.
But here Joe said Lana did get in the match for a while, and she had to get shown before they sent her to the corner.
Yeah, nobody wanted to tag back in, and it's just garbage.
Yeah.
Like that whole match was garbage.
But
like,
NXT was
like why was SmackDown's women all huggy when some of them were babyface, some were heel, and like
I think they were trying to show team unity.
Yeah,
I thought that too. With them, like
hot garbage, man. Like you know what? And you know, let's go ahead and move to SmackDown because we had more build up with Roman and Drew, and I'm going to tell you, Roman sitting there telling Adam Pearce to get the hell up so he could sit at the head
He
of
didn't
the
even
table.
say it. He just looked at him.
He just looked at him, and Adam Pearce got up, and he's like, and he walked around and sat at the other side of the table, and Roman sat there like this and looked over at Drew, and he goes like that, and I was listening to Busted Open on the way home to get here to the show, and Bully Ray sitting there talking about how he loves the fact that when they do it without microphones, it adds so much more to the element. And when Roman's sitting there and he's like, I knew you could do it, Drew. Paul, not so much, but I knew you could do it. But I'm going to tell you the line that really solidified it for me.
When Paul told him.
No. When Roman sat there and said, someday you're going to realize it, and you're going to thank me. And I want you to realize. And he didn't do this, but this is what he meant by it. He's like, you'll always be my favorite number 2. And you could just see Drew McIntyre's face get red and just steam from it. And he was like, I'm going to show this guy. I'm going to show him. You know, like, and the whole time I'm sitting there going, man, like, that build up for this match, you had 10 days. And you built this match up in 10 days. Imagine if they went from Royal Rumble to freaking Mania. What they would have done with these two guys to build that match correctly on SmackDown. Not with Raw. Not with Raw. Because, I mean, like, they realized Randy should have never won that title.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can picture from that is that Randy shouldn't have won that title. But then you had Jey Uso go against Daniel Bryan again. And all they wanted to talk about was Daniel Bryan's new haircut, which looks like The Miz. Am I wrong?
I didn't notice it. No.
Yeah, look like The Miz haircut.
Yeah.
But on top of that, Daniel Bryan gets his win back. Doesn't show up at Survivor Series because it's Jey Uso that's got to prove his worth to his cousin. And then, let's just go ahead. Let's just do it. Notice the poster, folks. The poster shows The Undertaker, but if you actually watched the entire pay-per-view, they showed a commercial that made you think that the pay-per-view was over before The Undertaker showed up, which I thought was hilarious, but I was also like, wait.
Yep.
Aren't they, like, did I miss it?
I did too.
I'm
like, it was at the beginning of the show?
Did the Undertaker actually show?
Because I almost stopped and rewinded.
Yeah,
I was like, did I miss it?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, there's no way. There's no way that I missed. Like, I've watched this entire pay-per-view. There's no way I missed it. Maybe they just pulled one of those things where they told us one thing and they're just gonna do it Monday night instead. Maybe they're gonna do it on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. But and then all of a sudden it was like, join me, Stone Cold Steve Austin, after the Survivor Series, and I'm like, but it's after Survivor Series at this point. Like, even the little graphic in the bottom corner showed up.
I don't think it came on.
Oh, maybe not.
It didn't come on.
You're right. Because you're right. But
that's what threw me off too.
But so anyways, okay. So they started the show. The pre-show had a battle royal.
Joe had a good point. He said,
No. He had a point. Let's hear what it was.
He said, I think they might legitimately want Orton to pass Flair for the most world titles, so they threw him a quick reign to get those numbers up.
He's at 14. He still needs 3 more. And
based
on the last graphic they showed for Ric Flair, he needs 4 more. So.
Right.
Chris Barrett also said The Undertaker was there for all of 3
Yeah.
minutes. Well, let's be real. He didn't chokeslam anybody. He didn't wrestle anybody. He didn't do anything like that. How long did you want him to be there? Did you really want to sit there and listen to him sit there and go, my career started with... You didn't want to hear any of that. All you wanted to hear was him say, it's time for me to rest in peace. That's all you wanted to hear, right? That's all you needed to hear. You didn't need to see Vince McMahon with his 2 black eyes sit there and show up. I mean, he literally like
Time's a wasting, bro.
he's got more luggage in those 2 eyes
Shut up.
than
up.
than my sister takes on a trip to Disney. That's such a good line, and you look like it.
You better hope Shorty don't watch this.
She don't watch this. You better not text her. But
Scared, aren't you?
no,
You
not
better
really.
not text her.
Not really. But okay, so we're not even going to talk about last week's Raw. Obviously, we know that Drew McIntyre won the match. But Survivor Series, you got the men from both teams. And I was pissed off from the Raw team anyway, because the Raw team literally was 5 guys that a month and a half ago were not even on Monday Night Raw.
And then they won so solidly.
Yeah, Seth Rollins doing the whole take one for the team.
What is that about?
Well, he's gone. He's
Maternity.
gone now. Yeah, he's leaving on paternity leave. Well, he's leaving on maternity leave.
Paternity.
Because Becky Lynch is the man. So Seth is leaving on maternity leave. I want at least 5 minutes, ending with him in a casket match recreating that infamous Yokozuna Royal Rumble match. Not gonna happen, Chris Barrett. At least we did get the Paul Bearer moment,
Yeah.
which
was awesome.
I don't care what you feel in terms of like, oh, they're doing this and they're desecrating him or anything like that. No,
because he's very important
to the Undertaker's
Yes.
career. Now, granted, I would have liked to have seen Kane out there at the same time, sit there and do the like that and have the fire come up. You know, I'd have been okay with that, or even Mick Foley sitting there saying Uncle Paul, whatever. But
What's up, Terrence?
Oh, Terrence is in the chat?
Yep.
Oh, good for T. So a couple other things that I liked. I really liked the Asuka versus Sasha Banks match. I really, really liked the Street Profits versus the New Day. Loved the fact that the New Day came out wearing their Gears of War gear.
I didn't even know
I'm going to download that tonight after the show. Maybe tomorrow, because I'll probably be asleep after the show. But loved that match.
That was awesome.
And it was totally a New Day sitting there giving the rub. Like, notice that they didn't talk about how SmackDown beat Raw a certain amount of times, or Raw beat SmackDown a certain amount of times last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like years past, it was always Raw's up by this many, or SmackDown's up by this many, and that's going to determine certain things. Chris Barrett says, I think that the Paul Bearer thing was perfect because Percy would want to be there with Taker. And yes.
And Terrence agrees with you. He said, and the Fiend should have ruined the ceremony.
If you had talked Calloway into one more match, that would have been the way I would have done it. I would have had Alexa Bliss show up and just like prance down to the ring, and I would have had him sit there and say, "What are you doing?"
Joseph said, "Do you mean me or Bray Wyatt? Because he's the Fiend of the show now."
Yeah. So Terrence, you weren't here earlier, but Joe McClane, Sketchy LaJoe is the Fiend of the show. So he's not even the friend of the show anymore. So you gotta clarify when you talk about that. But I really liked the Street Profits match.
Yeah.
There was a lot of chemistry. There was a lot of work going on. The fact that like you saw little heelish moments with the New Day,
Mm-hmm.
where they were like, yeah, come on, bring it up to our level, son. The real passing of the torch kind of moment, but getting a little too cocky, so that way that the next time they face each other, that they'll be able to sit there and Xavier Woods or whatever will grab that microphone in that weird way that he does it, and he'll say like the last time you caught us off guard, but this time we've got Big E with us again, or whatever. I thought it was cool that Big E came out with them.
What'd you think? Yeah. What did you think? We're still talking about them. We can't forget the Lashley Zayn match.
Loved it. Except for how it ended. Like, I would have loved if the referee actually disqualified Lashley because of it.
He didn't see it though.
Well, and that's just it. You know, like the he tripped me. You know, like it's a conspiracy. Like, I love this version of Sami Zayn. Still kind of weirded out by the fact that he looks like a redheaded Fidel Castro. But, you know, I mean, even the outfit, he looks like Fidel Castro at this point. And I think that that's where the hair, like, is inspired by because Sammy knows that he shouldn't grow a mane like that.
No.
It's like a mid. It's not a mane. But
Joe said, Sketchy said, I'd gladly join Bray and Alexa in Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, well, you will not be allowed to.
Oh, damn.
That's just the way it is.
Damn. So let's talk about it. We touched on it. The women Survivor Series match.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Hated every damn moment of it. How are you going to sit there and build up Bianca Belair when she gets counted out and
I thought she was going to win.
And her team loses the match because of it? It's just garbage. It's hot garbage. It was such bad booking. It literally reeked of Vince McMahon, let's put Lana through a table booking all night long. And maybe that's why he had a black eye. I don't know.
Joe said Rob don't want anyone near Alexa.
That's true. Ryan Cabrera and me gonna fight.
Yeah. But
I mean, they'll have gorgeous babies, but I still want to fight them.
It was cheesy to have her, and I knew.
You sit there on the edge.
It hit me.
Sit there on the edge. And you knew it was
when
going
they
to
were
happen.
all out of the ring, and
Yeah.
she's still standing there. And when she threw when she threw Nia over that wall, I'm like, this bitch is about to win the match. I didn't even really do anything but stand on the step.
Yeah.
And then she celebrated like she did something.
And you saw Nia's reaction, like, this bitch going through a table.
And I thought that was about to happen.
Yeah, I think they're holding that off from Monday night.
Yes, Terrence. So Terrence said, so I'm the only one that loved Lana winning. And Joe said, no, I'm with you, Terrence. So they like that ending.
So Joe doesn't like the storytelling in the Roman Reigns storyline where they're actually building up a character to be the next true, like, real powerhouse of WWE, like Brock Lesnar, that they're building homegrown from storyline to storyline and really showing that this guy deserves to be at the top of the card, but he likes Lana winning a match by sitting outside and everyone else getting counted out. That's fucking horse shit.
Oh, well.
Sorry, fiend of the show.
Michael Turner said he got you for a knockout. I guess when you and Ryan fight.
I'm just saying that, like, me and Ryan Cabrera? Yeah, probably.
Oh. Joe said, I don't like the Lana storyline that much, but I'm glad they're actually doing something with it.
Well, I
agree, yes. But they could have done better. I don't know.
No. Don't waste my time on Survivor Series with it. Like, look at all of the women that they just took Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke out of that match.
For what, though? I don't even know why they took them out.
For storyline purposes, so that they could show Peyton Royce's new hair color? Come on, give me a fucking break.
That was the line that Graves made me laugh. When I don't know what move Peyton did over the ropes, and Graves goes, well, I'd give that a perfect 10.
Okay.
That was the line.
Now, see, I missed that line. And
that was the line that got me. And I was trying to remember it
earlier.
And
I'd be okay with that. But Joe, you can't tell me that you liked that moment better than you liked the Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns match.
He said, and I'm comparing that match to the men's elimination match. The entirety of the men's match was a waste of time.
It truly was. I agree with that. However, the end result of that match, when Jey Uso went backstage and his brother's sitting there saying, don't let it get you down, and then Roman sits there and goes, get the hell out of my sight. You're a loser. And I have no time for losers, especially tonight. That's all the storyline that you needed from that entire 5-on-5 match, except for the fact that because Raw's guys couldn't get along, it never should have happened. So I don't disagree with Joe there. But I do disagree that when you take into account like what happened in that women's match, and then I saw the comments that he made about the main event, like, I'm sorry. That main event was sculpted. Like that was like, compared to everything else in Survivor Series, that was sculpted like the Sistine Chapel. Like, that match was just gold.
That was good.
Like, you knew that you had to build both characters up. You knew that you had to give a schmaz ending, so that way Drew doesn't look bad. You knew that Roman is so early in this role as the tribal chief that they have to push him to be the bad guy and be the winner. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite moments of this entire match, specifically, such a small moment because it could mean nothing or it could mean everything, was when he looked over at Joe and he sat there, not Joe McClain, when he looked over at Samoa Joe and he said, that's how a tribal chief does it.
And we've been saying.
And we've been saying all along now. Now remember, Joe's on Raw, Roman's on SmackDown, but the Royal Rumble is 2 months away. And if Joe is ready to go, and Joe enters at number 27, 28, 29, 30, and Joe wins that Rumble, you don't think that he's going to show up on Friday night and go, you ain't my tribal chief.
That would be interesting.
And I'll tell you, here's where that happens. For anybody that's worried about it, anybody that thinks we're going to go this way with the story versus this way with the story, here's the deal. They've got Joe in their back pocket. They can't get Dwayne to show up. Guess what?
They got Joe.
They got Joe. They can't get Big E over the way that they want him. They got Joe. Like, because here's the deal. The crowd will say,
Joe's going to kill you.
Joe's going to kill you. They will say that. Hell, they had Rikishi show up last night for the Undertaker thing, and he hasn't shown up sitting there saying, this is your chief. He's the father of the Usos, hasn't said all that. So they're still worried they can't get Dwayne to show up. They can't get The Rock yet. They're worried that if they're going to do this in the Thunderdome at WrestleMania, which, by the way, looks like Tropicana Field, which is where WrestleMania was supposed to be this year.
Is that still going to be Thunderdome, though?
It's going to be Thunderdome, starting December 6th, because basketball's coming back. So basketball needs to have the Orlando Arena. So the Amway Center, whatever it's called. But I'm telling you, you had that, it was one line. And all it was so that when it needs to happen, and it's literally, we put this in the back pocket right here. We got Roman saying that one line to Joe, and that's all it took. And if you notice, Joe wasn't being negative towards Roman yet, because he's not on the same show. He's sitting there saying, this is what the chief does. This is what he does. This is where it goes. But you know,
it pissed him off.
That if they needed to, it pissed Joe off to where he sat there and said, I was doing my job, but guess what? I'm a wrestler, and this is what I do.
Joe said, bottom line is, WWE knows that Drew can take a loss and still look strong, but as soon as Roman loses, he's done.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think that if they had passed it off as Jay came down to help Roman and Jay caused the loss, it would have done more hurt to Jay than it would have done hurt to Roman, and it would have done worse for Drew. I think that they would have hurt Drew by having Jay try to help him and cause Drew to win. Drew already had that match where, not SummerSlam, but the one after SummerSlam, where Randy Orton had ended up having all those legends come back. If they had people come down and help Drew win this match,
the ambulance match, yeah,
it was going to really pull away from what Drew has going for him. Like, and I'll tell you, Drew was starting to feel stale as the champion until he lost that championship.
He got that
and
mean streak.
he had that mean streak that we talked about.
Mhm.
Like, and no one else is talking about that. But I'm telling you, you've already started building towards the next Roman story if you need it. You now have.
Good question. But who's left?
What do you mean? Who's left?
Will Joe form a Samoan tribe? Yeah, but who's
No. He's from the other Samoan tribe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Willie formed one.
No, and I think that right now, like if you started building Joe at Royal Rumble and you had him run roughshod through everybody, then you have that opportunity. Chris Barrett also says Drew is the new Stone Cold. There's never going to be another Stone Cold. In fact, they had the opportunity to make Kevin Owens the new Stone Cold.
Well, you're always saying that they should make Dexter Lumis the new Stone Cold.
They should actually make him Stone Cold.
But there's
Like,
never going to be another Stone
shave
Cold.
his head.
There's never going to be another Stone Cold.
Well, they're never going to do it. Like, his name's Sam Shaw. He's never going to be Stone Cold. Like, he even did the Thez press at one point, and I was like, and if you, I don't know if you heard it, on Wednesday night, he like Vic Joseph absolutely said, it's that Stone Cold stare.
But I don't think he meant Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, he didn't. But he said it, and you know that they're sitting there going, he's got that same look. Like, and Steve Austin used to go like that when he would do it. Like, he did that, from the second ring rope, he would sit there and go like this and point down at people. And you knew, and it was, and then he'd go, and throw me the beer. But that's what he's got. So anyway, that's where I am with all that, Tino. I don't know how you feel. I'm just saying that like I felt that the main event went off about as well as it could, and didn't make anybody look weak, except for Jay maybe.
Yeah, I mean it hurt him a little bit.
Except after he got told to go home, he came back out. He did all that, and Roman embraced him, which meant Roman knew that he was in trouble.
Because he said, Jay, I don't know if you picked it up. Jay said, "I got your back," and Roman said, "I know."
Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt about all that. Obviously, we got the Undertaker. We already talked about that quite a bit. Anything else you want to say about the Undertaker? 30 years.
Thank you, Taker.
If you haven't watched all of the WWE documentary stuff on the WWE Network, I'll go ahead and give a plug for the $9.99 version. Most of it's probably available on the free version, which I still don't know how that works.
I don't either.
Because I pay for it.
Yeah.
Although weird thing happened. I was sitting there watching that Stone Cold pay-per-view or Stone Cold podcast thing at like 2:00 in the afternoon when I messaged you about it, and all of a sudden it told me that I logged out.
Me too. And then I had to log back in, and then it didn't let me start. You just says continue watching.
Well, no. So I went to log back in, and it kept telling me my password was wrong.
Oh, somebody stole your shit. You can change it.
So I went ahead and I clicked the change button, and it never sent me the thing for it, but it let me log in under my old password again. So I was like, something ain't right with this. Like something's funny with this. But anyway, so Tino, I'm gonna go ahead and load up our outro. You go ahead and you start. If you got nothing else, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody like what's up with us? Do you not know what's going on?
Yeah, I'm warming my hand up in case you do that whole starting the music. I'm a great player.
You know that as soon as I click the button, we can't be heard anymore. So that's why I told you I was keying it up. You should have started.
I was gonna chop your ass.
Woo!
Apparently,
Who else?
Joe said the WWE app is pretty terrible, and then Terrence said Vicky Nikki Cross, which he's probably watching Raw right now. So shut up, Terrence. But until next, you can catch him on the Twitter machine at Podcheck. You can catch me at HoodieFan91. On Twitter, also, we are the Potsy and Tino.
At Potsy and
Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show.
Don't forget to subscribe.
You do all that because I can
Subscribe to the YouTube.
I can remember the YouTube
YouTube.com/RobPodcheck. Follow.
Big Show testicle got you.
No, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Follow the Twitch machine.
The Twitch machine.
Yeah.
Just a Twitch machine.
Rob Potsy Podcheck. Follow it. You can subscribe to it, but that costs money. But you can follow for free.
I want to say thanks to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song, our theme song. You can get it on iTunes for 99 cents.
And thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker. Woo!
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody wants to be the nature boy, but I am the man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, make you scream, oh, like Jared Power. There have been many imitations, but only one, nature boy. I am the greatest thing going today. Whether you like it or not, you better learn to love it, because whether you like it or not, I am the greatest of all time. Woo! Tony Schiavone, to be the man, you've got to be the man, and I am the man.